Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life. Today I am talking about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And this is a condition that affects millions of women worldwide, and it can cause a variety of distressing symptoms and hormone imbalances. And while traditional conventional medicine kind of primarily focuses on managing the symptoms, they don't really have a cure for it. But with a holistic approach, we can look at how different parts of the body are connected, and we can look to try and identify the root cause of PCOS so that you can get some long-term relief. So what is PCOS? Well, it's a very common condition, and it basically describes a set of symptoms that can include missing or delayed ovulation, excess androgen hormones that can cause acne, facial hair loss. Weight gain is another common symptom. Insulin resistance and infertility. These are the things that PCOS are generally associated with. But as well as these kind of distressing symptoms, long-term PCOS can actually, unfortunately, increase your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. So how do you get diagnosed? Well, you can get an ultrasound to see if you have cysts on your ovaries. These are caused by undeveloped follicles that have not properly matured enough at the time of ovulation to allow that egg to break through. Now, although PCOS is kind of named after these cysts, it's actually not necessary for a diagnosis of PCOS because you may not have cysts at all. You may have cysts showing up, and you may not have PCOS either. So your ovaries are changing all the time. So either way, you can only really know that you've got it by getting some tests done. So the causes of PCOS are quite multifaceted actually, because the exact cause is not really fully understood by anyone. But we do know that it involves a combination of things like genetics, environmental factors, diet and lifestyle factors as well. So I'm going to go through some of the main ones that you can have a look at. Insulin resistance is number one. So a diet high in carbs and sugar over the long term can cause the insulin receptors on your cells to kind of shut down. Basically, that's what insulin resistance is. And that allows higher levels of insulin to be released by the pancreas, and that goes around the system. And too much insulin over time can basically interfere with ovulation. It can stimulate your ovaries to make androgens instead of estrogen. It can trigger your pituitary gland to make too much luteinizing hormone, and it can reduce something called SHBG, which is your sex hormone binding globulin, and that can increase free testosterone, which is your main androgen that we're looking at here in PCOS. The second cause is hormone imbalance. Obviously, PCOS is characterized by an imbalance in reproductive hormones, including this elevated levels of androgens such as testosterone. And this hormone disruption can again affect your ovulation and lead to the formation of these ovarian cysts. Weight gain is another potential causal factor, because fat tissue produces an enzyme called aromatase, and that increases your androgens too. So the more overweight you are, the more testosterone and androgens you're likely to be producing. So that can have a factor on the condition. The next one is inflammation, particularly in your gut. So inflammation can damage your hormone receptors, and it can also suppress ovulation. So if you've got any gut issues that you may have going on which cause inflammation themselves, sorting out your digestive health could actually help with your PCOS. It's all linked. The next causal factor is stress. So excess stress hormones like cortisol can interfere with ovulation by suppressing estrogen and progesterone, and cortisol also can increase insulin. So you've got that vicious cycle going on there. The next causal factor is low thyroid. If you don't have enough active thyroid hormone, your ovaries might not have the energy they need to ovulate. So low thyroid also stimulates the production of prolactin, which is a hormone that is produced during breastfeeding that stops you getting pregnant. Nutrient deficiencies, again, is the last one. So we're talking about specific nutrients here that are needed by your ovaries to function properly, to release that follicle to ovulate. Important nutrients include iodine, selenium, vitamin D, zinc, and many others. So deficiencies in these nutrients can interfere with your ovulation and cause symptoms. So you want to make sure you're fully nutrient complete. So I have a 5-step Pcos plan. It's not everything, but in here there may be things that you haven't tried before. And if you can get all 5 steps in place, then you're going to have a really good chance of improving symptoms, if not getting rid of it completely. So number 1 in the 5 steps is it's all about blood sugar. The quickest thing you can do for PCOS is to get off the blood sugar roller coaster. This causes that overproduction of insulin. We want to manage our insulin. So we do that by having lots of healthy fats and protein at each meal, particularly breakfast. So no toast or cereal or porridge with loads of sugar in it. We want healthy fats and protein. So that's eggs and avocados and nuts and seeds and natural yogurts and smoked salmon and organic meats, all of that. Healthy fats and proteins. So you can base your breakfast around that. And if you don't like eating breakfast, then a protein smoothie would work just as well. We want to ditch the sugar and the white carbs, and we want to be choosing those low GL carbs like whole grains, brown rice, sweet potatoes, quinoa, whatever it is that you like in terms of complex carbohydrates. We want to also be trying to leave 4 to 6 hours between meals. We don't really want to be snacking unless you start to get dizzy or faint. Obviously, we've got blood sugar issues there, but we want to try and give the body time to fast basically between meals. Overnight fasting as well can help. So leaving 12 to 16 hours overnight between dinner and breakfast can also help with that insulin issue. And daily exercise as well. Moving daily as much as possible really helps to keep your insulin in check too. So that's number 1, blood sugar. Number 2 is stress. It's always in one of my plans. Managing your stress is so important for all of your hormones. So prioritizing that switching off daily, if you don't have time for meditation or whatever that kind of formal stress reduction looks like, there are many, many, many effective ways of doing that type of relaxation. Just make sure that you schedule something in daily, and lots of my other posts have got lovely ideas on how to do that and incorporate it into your day. Number 3 is all about inflammation. We want to be reducing it. Now, focusing particularly on the gut, we want to be looking at whether gluten and dairy may be having an impact on inflammation in your body. So going gluten and dairy free just for 3 or 4 weeks to see if there are any improvement in your symptoms could really, really help, because they cause inflammation, and that has a chain-like effect. Eating plenty of anti-inflammatory foods, all your vegetables, protein, healthy fats, complex carbs, anti-inflammatory foods like berries, turmeric, ginger, garlic, green leafy veg, all of that really, really helps to start reducing those inflammatory processes. A green powder in your smoothie, if you don't tend to eat a lot of that stuff, can be really helpful for this. On the blog, I'll have a link to one that we really like. Now, you need to be supporting your gut microbiome as well, because any imbalance there can cause inflammation too. So we want to be eating probiotic rich foods like natural yogurt, kefir, kombucha, fermented foods, and if you need to, taking a high quality probiotic and addressing any underlying gut health issues if you have any, like leaky gut or dysbiosis, through proper testing and treatment. Number 4 is helpful supplements. So this is where we're going to address those nutrient imbalances if you have any. So the main ones are in your key multivitamins and minerals. So taking a good multivitamin with active levels of B vitamins can be really helpful. Not just your standard multi from the supermarket. That's not going to cut it. That's just going to be eliminated, because it's not going to have the bioavailability that you need. So I have all the right supplements, all the brands we love, on a link, and I'll pop that underneath if you want to go and look at getting good quality supplements. Vitamin D3 is incredibly important. I already mentioned that a deficiency in that can add to your hormone imbalance. A fish oil with good levels of EPA and DHA, that's what you want to be looking for. Helps with inflammation. It's anti-inflammatory. Magnesium can help with stress and the whole relaxation, and it also is great for your energy levels too, and it helps with hormone balance. Berberine and myo-inositol are particular supplements that can help with PCOS, but I would, put a caution on that, and I would rather you work with a practitioner to see what's exactly right for you, or get your doctor's advice if you do have a health condition before you take any new supplements, because that's really important. And the last one is, if you can, get yourself tested, because that enables us then to look at what kind of imbalance may be causing your PCOS, because I've been through all the various causes. It's very difficult to kind of guess what your cause is. So we do private hormone, nutrient, DNA and gut tests, And they can be really helpful in identifying that underlying imbalance so that we can target the root cause of your condition and your symptoms. Now, it's a very complex condition, as you can be aware of what I've just been talking about. And you can have PCOS at any age and for many reasons. And it can be really challenging to navigate. But if you look at these potential causes, then natural solutions can be implemented, and they can be really, really, really effective at alleviating symptoms and promoting long-term health. So do contact us if you need any help with your PCOS, or if you know anyone with PCOS, do forward this on to them or tag them underneath, and that'll help them sort of navigate their condition if possible. All right, I hope you found that useful. See you later.